Hello, I'm coming to you again with part 4. We've been talking a lot about different things, but basically we've been talking about safe, healthy sex. Well, I'm going to get off of that for a little while and talk about being mature, because the emphasis is on being mature, being ready. Because having sex is a big commitment. Because you know what? Sex is not just getting that orgasm. It's a lot more involved. Feelings, consciousness, your health. Because sex can kill in more ways than one. And it's not just about morality. It's about the finale. What happens after you get your orgasm? I'm killing me with these words of mine sometimes, but we need to first get to that point when we're ready. Because we found out that being mature is being fully grown, ripe, able to make good, sound decisions with a fully grown mind. Now, we're going to take a test that you could see if you're mature. Now, it's a subject to every rule. Some mature earlier than some others. But we're concentrating on finding out when you're mature. Because I advise anybody to wait till they are mature before they go into any kind of contract, especially a sexual relationship. Because it's serious. Because when you have that sexual experience, you want it to be the best experience you could ever have. And you want it to continue to be the best experience you could ever have. It is a gift to experience such tremendous ecstasy. Your whole body, your whole world is involved in that moment. But okay, we're going to get into history and education. You need it, and they both must be together. Now, this is one thing I don't see in school. When they give you something, they don't give you the history behind it. History needs to be taught all before you enter into a school system, a school establishment. Okay. Now, why is it important to be taught early? Well, we are our parents' children, and they are children of their parents, and so forth. Now, it should be treasured forever, our history. It holds the key to the past and hope for the future. It's like a step ladder. It helps you reach new heights, and it elevates your mind. Before the coming of the European, Africans had culture. They had traditions for superior to that of white slave masters. Remember what I said. Before the coming of the Europeans, Africans had cultural traditions far superior than that of their white slave masters. Their children began their educational process at age 3. And by the time they had complete what would be termed elementary school today, they had that already. They had intelligence. They had level beyond the highest degree attainable in today's institution of learning. We had 8-year-olds as kings. Now, to me, I believe that can be true, but being mature is being ready to make sound decisions, develop a mind ready to take on important issues that are important for all affected. And that's what a king does. But see, that's what I'm saying. We have lost that attainable intelligence through this invasion of this Europeans on us. And we need to get back to that. That's why I am submitting a new school system so we can start early and get the proper education. Now, despite having this transformation where we had to go from being kings and queens to being slaves, this was forced upon us, and being as intelligent and having so much intelligence, it really made us kind of mental defect, because we wasn't able to express ourselves or be as creative as we once were. Now, and even now, being some middle class or even wealthy, today, we as a whole we are continually being treated as second-class citizens, despite living in America for over 400 years. Yes. Now, also with that, our diet has changed. Our relationship with nature, our traditions, our culture, and we are forced to live among ones who don't share or is ignorant of our history. Now, so you have to remember that all Africans were not from the same tribe. All Africans had different traditions and different history, different makeup, and we were forced together. And a lot of times we was forced to copulate and thus bring in children with different backgrounds. So it's all about getting back to our original ways. And I'm not saying going back doing the drums and the bare feet or whatever, because we don't know that. We have no clue what tribe we came from. But what I'm saying is getting back to the intelligence that we once had as a people. Now, we need to get back to healthy eating. We need more veggies, fruit. We need to stay away from all the fast food restaurants. I'm not saying not to go to them at all, but every day, that's too much. Now, there's 11 principles of food and health with great benefits. Now, we're going to talk about one principle at a time. Now, the great benefits of eating right is living longer, avoiding certain diseases like diabetes, heart disease, lowering your blood pressure, and avoiding Alzheimer's disease, and more. Now, one is nutrition. Looking at food as a nutrient, as something to fuel your body, to keep you running, to keep your motor going. Just like you have to gas up at the gas station, you have to also gas up your body with the proper nutritions to keep you going. Now, nutrition represents the combined activities of countless food substances. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Example, You prepare sauteed spinach with ginger and whole grain ravioli shells stuffed with butternut squash and spices, topped with walnut tomato sauce. Voila! You have introduced a bundle of nutrients into your body. As soon as food hits your saliva in your mouth, your body begins working its magic, and the process of digestion starts. Now, each of the food has chemicals, and them chemicals interact with what the other food chemicals have and your body chemicals in a very specific way. And the chemicals we get from the foods, we are engaged in a series of reactions that work in concert to produce good health and intricate controls within our cells and are through our body. See, we have to look at what's going on in our body. We do that through education, okay? Because that's what I'm saying. Education in history is very important. Now, culture change is not easy. Changing your diet is not easy. And our lifestyle changes, it's not easy. But it's necessary. Now, if most black people were financially secure, educated, lived in clean neighborhoods, had good jobs, controlled their communities, and felt protected, both physically and mentally, there would still be problems. We can't avoid problems. Because remember, we're living in a dysfunctional world. And things happen. But we still have to address issues that are here during the seasoning of black people that underwent the long periods of enslavement. You can't get away from it. I know I hear about people all the time trying to say that is not the fact, that is not the reason. Yes, it is. You do not go all them years being enslaved, being neglected, and don't think it's not going to affect you, your child, their child, their child. It affects the whole world, because you still see people still acting like nothing's changed. Still trying to keep the black man down. I have read some comments where they want every black person dead. I mean, for anybody to say that, even though they know that it's never going to happen, it just shows how mental people are. Now, it has left a negative and physical and mental scars on us. Because like I said from the beginning, we are our parents' children, and they are the children of their parents, so forth and so forth. Now here is 11 suggestions that we're going to do one at a time on how we can help this change come about. 11 steps at a time. Now, accurate definitions are needed. We need to teach our kids and ourselves exactly what being a father and a mother really means. Not is, but means. What it really means to be black, man, woman, or child in this country, in this world. And understanding the rites passage from young to adulthood, such as birth, naming, birthdays, formal schooling, graduating, age groupings, sexual activity, high school education, and military and or college, marriage, which I called a corporation, and other culture forces, helps stabilizing and giving direction to them. They should know what all this means. When you give your child a birthday party, do you explain to that child what that means? What is expected of them at this age? I don't care if they're 2 years old. They should be sat down, talked to, and tell them, get the book out. Tell them what happens when a 2-year-old does. What's ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's talk about farmers. Most of us have never been on a farm, have never worked a farm, and we are missing out on so much. Now, being a farmer, you are close to nature. You are being productive. You're used to seeing food ripe and mature, which also helps you to develop patience in oneself. Your interest is expanded. You have a positive relationship with creatures of the land. The soil is enriched by you. You see how seasons change our earth. Now, how many of our black children grow up with horses and sheep and goats and etc., that's on the farm? How many black children really go out there and reap what they sow? As in gardens, vegetable gardens, flower gardens. Eating something that they grew. Picking it when it's ripe and then eat it. Our children should and could have close to nature, should be close to nature.